My favorite chess traps of 2023. Let's take a look. First up, we have a trap with black that you can play against the fried liver attack. So white attacks the pawn, you defend the pawn. White brings the bishop here. I'm sure you've seen this before. They're going for the fried liver attack. They're threatening to fork you and take your queen and your rook. So what do? You play d5. It looks like you're falling right into the fried liver. But instead of capturing, this is where you surprise them with the move knight to d4. This is called the Fritz variation. If you've watched any of my rating climb videos, you know that we've played this a lot, and you know that we've had tremendous success with this at really all levels. It works particularly well under 1800, but I've even played it against masters with success. What's the idea? Well, white is trying to obviously go for the fork, so most people are just like, what are you doing? They push their pawn to unleash the bishop, and we surprise them again with queen takes here, allowing the fork. And here comes the real surprise move, queen to c6. Not only hitting the bishop, we're also hitting this g2 pawn, which is even more important. And most people here are either going to try to save their bishop or they're going to be greedy and take your rook. If they're greedy and they take the rook, you're going to grab here, hits the rook on h1. They try to save it. You come back to e4 with check. They don't want to lose their queen by going here and just getting captured. So they block with the bishop instead. And now you have a beautiful finish to the game. If you'd like to pause, what's the winning move here? That's correct. Knight to f3 is actually just checkmate because the bishop is pinned and can't take the knight. A beautiful smothered checkmate in just 10 moves. You'd like to see, oh, and I should also cover, if they decide to save the bishop instead of take the rook, it doesn't really change anything. You come in here, you come back here, and guess what? It's still checkmate, okay? Beautiful trap. If you'd like to see a more in-depth video on this, I'll put a link in the description. I talk about it in another one. But let's go ahead and jump to trap number 2. This is my all-time favorite trap against the Caro Kann defense. It works extremely well. Again, I've used this even at the master level with success. Here we go. Knight to c3. Everybody's going to take the pawn, and you're going to play bishop to c4. This is the surprising move. This is called the von Hennig Gambit. It's not played very often, but it is extremely effective. Most people are going to continue doing what they do as a Caro Kann player. You bring your knight out, and we're going to play f3. They're going to take it, and most people are going to be like, well, this is what you do in the Caro Kann. You pin the knight to the queen, except now it's a crucial mistake because of the placement of our bishop. We jump in with the knight, and when they capture our queen, we checkmate them on move number 8. And by the way, if they try to go back here thinking that they can defend, actually have a brilliant follow-up. Queen takes h5 anyway. And again, we have this beautiful checkmate here on f7. One of my favorite gambits of all time against the Caro Kann. Trap number 3 comes out of the Ponziani opening. So e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, and c3. We're trying to play d4 and get those 2 pawns in the center right away. So what do a lot of people play? Well, they're either going to play d5 or they're going to play knight to f6. This is where we see the trap. Okay, they just develop a piece, attack the pawn. We ignore it. We play d4. Black captures the free pawn. We play d5, kicking the knight away from the defense here. Most people are like, okay, where do I go? Where do I go? I can't go forward. I guess I have to go back to e7. We grab the pawn, and now our knight is super annoying, bothering black. So, of course, what are they going to do? They're going to chase it away with d6. That's a critical mistake because now we go bishop to b5 check, and the king is actually trapped. Black has no good way to deal with the check. If you go here, you just lose not only your bishop, you also are going to lose your queen. You don't want to do that. And if you play c6, which at first glance looks like pretty good, we have all these pieces defending. No, actually, white has more pieces attacking, and we end up with the triple fork, and we're just going to take all of black's pieces. Just remember, when they play bishop d7, don't take the rook, take the knight. It's better to get a free knight than to give up your bishop for a rook. So just take this. You're going to castle. You're going to bring your rook to the center. You're going to develop your pieces, and you're going to win the game very easily because you have an extra piece. Right? And last but not really least, or maybe you could say it's least, it's a different kind of it's not really a trap. It's like a very tricky line you can play against d4 out of the Polish defense. And I'm going to tell you, you're going to surprise so many people if you play this. Here we go. e4, bishop to b7. You're attacking here. And what a lot of people do is play bishop to d3. They don't really want your pawn here. They just want to defend their pawn on e4. And now you can play a surprising move, f5. f5. They're going to capture you, and you're actually going to go ahead and take this and go for the rook. And if you've ever played an opening like this before, you're probably thinking, wait a second, Nelson, aren't we getting into trouble here with the queen? Well, not really, because you're going to play g6. You're going to let them take you, and now you're going to play the most surprising move, bishop to g7, okay? And yes, the eval bar doesn't like it, but I'm telling you, unless you're playing against a cheater, they're not going to know what to do. Okay, they're going to take this with check. You're going to play king to f8. They're going to take this in like 2 seconds or less, and they're going to be happy because they have 2 queens. And now you're going to just take it with your king, and all of a sudden, the rook is involved. Their rook is still trapped in the corner, and it turns out that in a lot of cases, your king actually is safer than white's king. So for example, they have to save the queen. Most people will go to g4. You can actually grab the rook, and let's just say they try to trap your bishop. Rook takes h2, and look at white's king. You see what I'm talking about? It's not actually safe. This bishop is doing an amazing job of defending your king. They can't really attack you. Remember, your rook is here also defending, and this is an incredibly fun line to play. You're going to surprise everybody. People who play d4 do not want a game like this. Otherwise, they would have played e4, right? You play e4 when you want exciting, crazy gambit stuff. You play d4 when you want to play the London or something kind of like that. And so this is a great choice to surprise them. These are my 4 best traps of 2023. Let me know in the comments what's your favorite and if I missed any good ones. See you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Stay sharp, play smart, and take care.